Hello, Aries. This is Carrie from Celestial Forecasts with your mini reading, focusing on advice for the last week of February. So let's go ahead and take a look at that here today. General, as always, guys, it's not going to resonate with every single person. So please do take from it what makes sense for you and release what doesn't. If you're interested in your own personal private reading, that information is down below in the description box. And if you're interested in any of the decks that are featured here today, which is focused on my self-created ones, I'll go ahead and list the deck shop link down below, Aries. All right. And of course, as always, cross watchers, absolutely welcome. Let's start things off with the conversation between you and your person, whether you're masculine, feminine. Let's take a look at that. So starting things off with the Thinking Man Oracle, this is the volume 2 version. And then we'll grab a card from the Woman's Intuition Oracle. And lastly, the He Said, She Said Oracle to get the conversation going between the two of you. All right, Aries, so let's begin. Let's grab a card on behalf of the Divine Masculine first. Angels and Spirit Guides, please, for Aries. What is the masculine thinking right now when it comes to this connection? Guided to this one. In the 5D, no one can stop our love, but perhaps there's a whole lot of something else going on in the 3D world, where it's more complicated. So this could also be how you guys are interacting at this point in time, more so in the 5th dimension rather than in reality, face-to-face, 3D interaction. Okay, so in the 5D world, the love still exists, but the goal here, obviously, is for that love to be experienced and enjoyed in the 3D world. So we'll see if that's possible, at least to get the conversation going or the connection going in the last week of February. So on behalf of the Divine Feminine now, let's grab a card. I'm guided to this one. I feel you pulling away from me. Now, this could be 3D, okay? That in the 3D world, my feminines, you're feeling your masculine pull away from you, but in the 5D, you guys could still be interacting. You might be seeing each other in your dreams. There could be astral travel happening here as well, telepathic communication. So if they're pulling away in the 3D, we'll have to figure that out, but in the 5D, they're not. All right, so let's add to this with a message from the He Said, She Said Oracle. So this deck contains 2 messages, one for the masculine, one for the feminine. Take whichever one you're guided towards, as always. All right, let's grab this card here. He said, I've been so lonely without you. She said, I've missed you so much. So I'm really kind of feeling it more so that my masculines really need to figure out what it is that they're wanting in this partnership. And maybe this can be the week that they actually are able to do that. Because if you guys are missing each other, the masculine is feeling very lonely, but at the same time, my feminines, you're feeling them pull away from you. So they might have some issues, personal issues that have nothing to do with you, that they're going to have to try to figure out this week. Okay? So let's add to this, Aries, and see what else you need to know in the upcoming days here. So I'm going to pull from the Heart and Soul Love Oracle deck. Angels and Spirit Guides, please, for Aries. What else do you need to know? So I'm kind of feeling, my feminines, that you are observing your masculine pulling away from you. That might be what's happening, but that's not what's happening in the 5D, which is really puzzling, if they're lonely, if they are thinking of you, if they're missing you, if they're loving you in the 5D, why can't they do this in the 3D world? What's going on? For Aries. Okay. We have Liberation followed by Heartbreak. So my feminines, what I'm getting is this, that if you felt your masculine pulling away from you, you might have set yourself free from this person because they weren't appearing to maybe be engaged or invested in the partnership. Could have also been toxic for some of you guys. Or somebody here, either the masculine or the feminine, needs to detach from a toxic situation. So let me go ahead and read this. Being a part of a toxic relationship drained my energy, affected my spirit, hindered the progress I wanted to make in my own life, robbed me of my voice. No more. Today, I take my power back, setting myself free from chains that no longer have the capability of binding me in any way. Today marks my liberation. So it's one of those cards where it's talking about freeing yourself from a situation that wasn't good for you. So maybe in the 3D world, this relationship is not good, but in the 5D, that's where you guys are able to overcome the challenges. And then we have heartbreak that's represented here. And I'm also feeling, Aries, for some of you guys, if you would have chosen to stay, or if you are really torn whether you should stay or go, again, this could be the week that you figure all of that out. This card reads, I can't handle this pain anymore. It's tearing me into a million pieces. My heart is on the floor. I can't eat. I can't sleep. It's too much, too overwhelming. Let me just go to sleep and never wake up. I'll never recover from this grief, this heartbreak. I can't go on. But the reality of it is, you can. Heartbreak always feels so incredibly devastating, and we get to that point where we hit rock bottom, where we feel like we truly can't go on. But there's always another day. The sun will always come out, and it's up to you, of course, when you're ready to open up a new door for you to find happiness again, to be open to new love coming into your life. If somebody truly is not meant for you, especially if it's a toxic situation, you have to take it upon yourself, to be able to break free from something like that. So my feminines, what I'm getting here for you this week is if they're pulling away from you, they might actually be doing you a favor. We have words. Life can be harsh, love even harsher. Words pack a punch, and sometimes it breaks skin. We start to believe those painful, awful, hurtful words and eventually convince ourselves that it's true. You are more than those words. The right love simply needs to remind you of that. And perhaps, you're trying to fit a circle into a square. It's not going to work. So in the 3D world, it's not working. In the 5D, maybe you're trying to make it work there. But that's not where you're meant to stay. You're meant to focus on where your life is in the 3D world. Otherwise, it's just a fantasy or wishful thinking, perhaps. I can't make this up, guys. Look at that card. Sever. There comes a point when you know in your heart of hearts it's over. There's nothing more to say, nothing more to do. That doesn't make it any easier to let go. No one can rush you to detach. But the day will come when it won't be so hard. So if this is something that you've been dealing with, and which is why it's presenting itself here, perhaps this is the week to finally sever ties with somebody that's not good for you, with somebody that is toxic for you. And I'm really feeling this for my feminines, whoever resonates with the feminine energy. It can be a man or a woman. You may be missing your masculine, and they could be very lonely without you, as it says there. But if you are feeling them pull away from you, there's a reason for that, and it might actually be a good thing. That's what I'm getting from that. So let's add to this with some additional guidance from my Silhouettes deck. Aries, let's see what else. What's the advice for the last week of February here for you? Angels and spirit guides. We have fitness goals. Kissing burns 6.4 calories per minute. Want to work out. Some of you guys might have fallen in love with somebody who's a real fitness fanatic, or this could be you. There could also be something very special about the kisses, those intimate moments. Okay? But this is interesting. We do have mystery man here. Okay? So there could have been infidelities here. There could have been a third-party situation. Take that only if it applies to your situation. But this card does say you don't have to tell him about me. We can just keep having fun together. I don't need to meet your family, your friends. It's our little secret. Come on over. That's toxic, okay? And my feminines, perhaps you know that. And if they're pulling away from you, maybe they've moved on to another third-party situation or moved on to somebody else at this point, which could absolutely have broken your heart. But it's time, clearly, letting you know it's time to sever ties because they're just going to bring you down with them. We have tranquility here, and it does say in a world of uncertainty and chaos, you are my peace, and maybe that's why it's so difficult for you to let them go, because they do represent that peace in your heart, but they can also represent the chaos and the drama and the heartbreak. The reality of it is, it hurts being here without you. Okay, so no doubt, if you resonate with this reading, it hurts that you guys are not together, but it could also be a blessing in disguise for you, Aries. And then we have drama, okay, and it does say, don't start it, don't allow it, don't add to it. So it's time to liberate yourself, as that card says, and to sever ties with somebody that you know you don't belong with in the 3D world. Make this perhaps the week to do that. So let's add some insight here from my tarot teacher deck. Angels and spirit guides, please, for Aries. If they're pulling away, let them pull away. It's time to sever ties. It's time to end a situation with somebody that you know isn't good for you. You can create this movement in your own life, okay? That's the Chariot energy right there. Cancer energy. You might have Cancer in your chart, or maybe your person is a Cancer, or a new love for some of you could be a Cancer. This is a very triumphant outcome in your life. Not necessarily when it comes to this partnership, but you're meant to be successful and triumphant in your life. I love how you've got the Ace of Cups here, because this is all about self-love first, for you to be able to fill that cup of love first. And what that means is you have to love yourself before you can offer that love or find that love that you're looking for outside of yourself. And you can have it. This represents a new beginning, a new relationship, somebody that you can have that deep connection with. And your love life will absolutely get better. You've got the Ace of Wands, another ace representing new beginnings, growth. So there's a chance for you to go in a different direction and to find happiness here. You've got the World card represented, which makes sense to me because it does represent cycle completion. Let this cycle with this toxic person come to an end so that you can have a new beginning and to be able to find fulfillment in your life elsewhere. Okay, so that's what's representing itself there. Let's go ahead and grab some time frames here for you, Aries, as to when you're hoping something will happen. So if you do have a when question, now is the time to ask. This is the Time Traveler Oracle. Very simple deck that I created. Just potential time frames of when something may or may not happen. But it's important to remember time is fluid and there's just no guarantee in time frames because everybody's got their own free will, their own choices, and so do you. And time is constantly moving and changing. It's fluid, okay? So take these with a grain of salt. I'll go ahead and grab 3 cards and whichever one you're most guided towards as far as a time frame for your situation. Angels and spirit guides. We have it will happen on a Friday. Okay. We have a 2-week time span that's represented here. And then we've got 9 months represented. Okay. For some of you, it might take as long as 9 months for your heart to heal and for you to move on or to be ready to get to the point where it's time for you to detach from somebody. It might take some of you guys that long, especially if you're just not ready to do it right now. Because nobody can ultimately force you to detach from somebody. You have to come to that realization all on your own if you know that they're just not good for you. Okay, so let's wrap it up here, guys, with a song from my Heart Songs deck. Your song for this week. And if you're not familiar with the song, see if you resonate with the lyrics. A song for Aries for the last week of February. We have Against All Odds by Phil Collins. So take a look at me now. Well, there's just an empty space and there's nothing left here to remind me, just the memory of your face. So this I kind of feel for those of you who have moved on or are about to move on from somebody that you know isn't good for you. All they will be left with are their memories, and, you know, they can miss you all they want. They can feel lonely without you, but at the end of the day, if they just did not treat you right, it's time to sever ties, Aries. All right, so that's the message for this last week of February. Take it if it makes sense. If you are interested in your own personal private reading, that info is down below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.